Welcome to Homeschool is a Work of Heart. I'm Melissa Webb, and after years in the classroom and years homeschooling and supporting those in home education, and even more years creating curriculum for families like yours, I have learned this. Homeschooling isn't about perfection. It is about purpose. And this podcast is here to encourage you, to guide you, and to remind you that what you're doing truly matters. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. Hello there, my friend. Happy New Year. It is official. It's a new year. Are you ready? Are you embracing it? Are you putting away the holiday decor and cleaning out the fridge? I am. So I'm feeling pretty productive. And I was thinking about productivity, and I thought, let's maintain this momentum. We're going into a new year. For a lot of us that's going into a new semester. And for me, we have all of our spring classes ready to be recorded. So I'm busy being productive on that end. Then we're going to launch and do our sales. So much productivity. And so if you too want to make time to have your most productive year, as a home educator, as a homeschool parent, or as a parent in general, this week's episode is especially for you. As home educators, we often think that more productivity means doing more. We're going to need more textbooks. Maybe I should sign up for more classes. We should have more outings, more checklists, more structure, more hours. However, you'll be very happy to know that's not what I'm talking about today. I have some very good news. The most productive homeschool moms who I have met are not the busiest ones. They are the most intentional ones. So today I'm going to share 3 things that I have witnessed productive home educators doing differently than other home educators. And great news, again, not one of these hacks requires you to go get more curriculum or new curriculum or a color-coded planner or waking up at 4:30 in the morning. Unless you savor those quiet hours, that's fine. You may want to jot a few thoughts down as I go through these 3 productivity hacks. Things are going to come to mind for you. They just will. And I don't want those great ideas, those amazing thoughts to just whiz by you without you taking control of them. Take every thought captive. So have some paper. Remember, you can pause me at any time. And if something comes to mind based off of anything that I share, get that down. You can go back to it later and do a deeper dive and see what comes of it. But for now, just know that these are mindset shifts, and all of them are backed by research, by my own living experiences, what I have seen other homeschooling families doing, and they are all intended to make your homeschooling or parenting experience feel calmer and lighter and more sustainable. Does that sound good? Okay, so let's jump in. Hack number 1 that I want to share with you that I have noticed time and time again is that it is important to plan with flexibility, not perfection. I don't know anybody, classroom teacher, home educator, who has ever created a plan that hasn't had to be adjusted. And when things get adjusted, I know there are parents out there that go into this mode of, I blew it, this isn't going to be perfect now, we fell back. But if you could just accept this very first mindset shift, that the goal is to plan with flexibility, you're going to feel so much better. And I will tell you, the most productive homeschool parents I know, the ones that I have worked with, they do plan. They just don't worship their plans. They understand that something even researchers have confirmed again and again and again is that over planning leads to burnout. Yes, possibly with our kids, but even for you. Are you familiar with psychologist Barry Schwartz? He wrote a book called The Paradox of Choice. In fact, I have a few really great resources this week that I'm going to share in the show notes. A lot of people at the beginning of a new year especially say they want to read more books, less fictional and more nonfiction, things that are going to help them be better at their trade. And for you, that could be home education. So this could be a book you might really enjoy. It's called The Paradox of Choice. And basically, the book explains that when we try to optimize everything, getting the very most out of everything, we actually become less satisfied but more stressed. I don't want either of those things. So just know that too many expectations that we put on ourselves, that we put on our kids, does create mental fatigue. So basically what I want you to do as we get into this next semester is I want you to plan. Plan for your family events, plan for your school events, plan for your curriculum. But would you just plan in pencil, not in pen? That will hopefully help you stay a little more flexible. It's a lot easier to erase a pencil than a pen. And I want you to ask yourself some questions as you go into each day. I want you to just choose 3 academic priorities. So what are the 1, 2, or 3 things that really matter each and every day? For me, I always focused on reading, writing, and math. Those have always been a core, and I still think it's a great place to start because reading every day is very open and broad. Are you reading a novel? Maybe you're doing a novel unit together. Fantastic. Maybe you're reading science. Maybe you're reading from history. But every day we're going to do some reading. Writing. Every day there should be some writing. If you're working on an academic essay, that's easy. That's what you're going to be doing for your 30 minutes of writing every day. Maybe you're doing some journal practice. Maybe you're writing in response to something that was in the literature or the science or the history. And the third thing is math. And once those 3 academic priorities are done, well, I would always do those in the morning. That was amazing for us. I felt accomplished. I didn't have 12 different things I wanted us to get done every day. There were 3 academic priorities. And they would fluctuate from day to day. I wouldn't necessarily get to every subject every day, but I would focus on reading, writing, and math. Just 3. And often those 3 got done before lunch. So the day was a win right there. And then, sure, we got our music practice in. We got PE minutes in. We would maybe do an art project or maybe a science project related to what we read in science. All great. But the 3 that we did in the morning, that was the win. And anything else was the icing on top. Just notice how different that feels. Rather than necessarily having those 12 things, let's say technically maybe it was like 7 or 8 were on my list. I only told myself that those 3 most important, done before lunch, were what really, really mattered. And everything else, the icing on top. All of that felt like, wow, and look at all the other things we did. Versus if I had been like, I have to get these 8 things done. And then we get to lunch and I notice one of my kiddos are just kind of burned out that day. Or we get a call and invited to go do something else. And I hesitate, should we go, should we not go? I would go. That's why I'm saying plan in pencil, not pen. Stay flexible. This small shift alone could remove so much pressure off of you and give your children room to learn without feeling rushed. If math took longer and you needed to finish that after lunch, how nice. We have the time to kind of see how that is. So that is my first productivity hack for you, okay? Just remember, you want to plan with flexibility. Okay, productivity hack number 2. Please stop trying to motivate your kids and yourself. This is such a big one. I did a whole other podcast on it. So many of us think when I'm motivated, I'm going to do these great things. But research shows the opposite. Are you familiar with psychologist B.J. Fogg? He wrote Tiny Habits, a great book. I actually read it twice. And he explains that motivation often follows action, not the other way around. For some reason, we think when I feel motivated, I'm going to start working out. It doesn't work that way. You just need to get your shoes on, go to the gym, or go for the walk, whatever you need to do, and then just start doing it. And then you'll keep going, which is great. But we have to teach this not only to ourselves, but to our children. Stop trying to motivate them. Instead, productivity, hack number 2, is all about momentum. Just start. And productive moms know this. They do not wait for their child to feel inspired to write or inspired or excited to do their math page. They create a gentle routine that gets the momentum going, that gets the start happening. And they say things like, let's just do the first problem. Let's just do that. I'll do it with you. Or let's just write one sentence. Let's just work for 10 minutes. You just start slow and you get the momentum going. And with time and with practice and with consistency, confidence is going to grow. And why not try this? Like set a short 5 to 10 minute timer. And when the timer ends, you can tell your child, you're all done. You're done. Time's up. Do you know what I have experienced when I say that to a class of students? When I have said that, when I'm like, okay, everybody, we're just going to work for 10 minutes. You're going to get as far as you can. Many times when that timer would go off, I would have students be, wait, Mrs. Webb, wait, I'm almost done. I just have 2 more problems, or I just have 1 more sentence to write. Why does that happen? Because the momentum creates the motivation. So that's pretty important to know. And here's the thing. If you're like, my child would never say that. My child would just be like, done? I'm done? Okay, I'm done. I promise you it's still a win because consistency builds trust. And the next time when you say, okay, another 10 minutes, you'll start to notice the fighting goes down and your child will be more likely to say, okay, 10 minutes. I said 10 minutes. Okay, let's go. Okay. So that's productivity. Hack number 2, focus on momentum, just getting it going. All right. We're on to the productivity hack number 3. I want you to consider measuring your child's progress differently this year. This one is huge. I want you to consider how you measure your child's progress right now. Do you put grades on pieces of paper for them? Do you tell them like this is an A or this is a B? Or do you ever put an F or a D on your child's paper? There is so much research that backs up how wasteful that really is. It's really not as helpful as people might think. Grades originally were just for the teacher to know what needed to be retaught. And somewhere along the way, we have just put letters on pieces of paper for kids. And it's not my favorite way. And I can back up with so much research why you really should consider not doing that. And I know that can be hard because it's what schools do. It's probably how it was done to you. But I want you to watch this video that I'm going to link for you. It's by educational researcher Carol Dweck. She went to a Stanford alumni event and she did this 10-minute talk about growth mindset. She has a book on that as well. Great book. That was one I had to read in college, but I loved it. Like that was just a great book. Actually, I don't think I was even in college. I was already a teacher at that point. It was one of the things my principal maybe had me read. Such a good book. Definitely all around education, but I think it goes beyond education as well. And she talks about a better measurement is growth. And she even will talk about in that video how teachers have the option of, sure, you could put an A when all of the things that you wanted your student to achieve have been achieved. A for achievement. You've achieved what the goals were for this particular lesson. And if it's not that, then you write not yet. That's it. You just write not yet. And you make notes or write something, for your child or have a conversation with your child. Not yet, honey. There's still a few things that we're going to work on. And her whole point on this is that when we praise their effort and we praise the process and the progress that they're making, we're actually building long-term success and teaching them how to keep going. It beats perfection every single time. And it's something that I implement in our writing classes. We do teach children how to write an A-level paper. an achievement level of writing. And if they turn in work to us that is less than that, we tell them honestly, hey, not yet. We never give them a bad grade. We just say, not yet. Hey, we need you to do the following things, XYZ, whatever that is. So what I want you to focus on as you're wanting to be a more productive and successful home educator is I want you to ask yourself every week, even every day if you want, did my child learn something? And if so, what did they learn? Did my child try something new? Did my child grow in anything? A little? A lot? And at the end of each week, I want you to ask your child some open-ended questions. Like, so sweetheart, what felt easier this week for you than last week? Or, so what are you so proud of today or this week? Or what is something you want to work on next? What's something you want to be better at doing? Again, these questions are going to build ownership and confidence, and they're going to shift the focus from how well did I perform to how much did I progress. It's a huge difference. So there you go. Some helpful hacks. I have some inspiring resources. Be sure to check out the show notes. If links are never working, reach out to me and let me know. I am a real person really wanting to help you, really wanting to build this community where home educators know that they are running circles around what classroom teachers are even capable of doing with a class of 30, 35 children. You can do so much more to meet the individual needs of your children. You just need to know you have a team here to help you. And I would love to be one of your team players. I hope you feel the productivity heading your way in 2026. I want you to remember that productivity does not require some superhuman powers. Nobody is better than you at homeschooling. No, don't believe that. We're not going to focus on doing more. We're going to focus on being very intentional. We're going to focus on flexibility. We're going to focus on building momentum instead of waiting for motivation. And we're going to measure our growth this year by the progress of moving forward, not any sign of perfection. The work you do, my friend, it is so important. And your kiddos will eventually thank you for it. Right on. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. And hey, if you are feeling stretched thin and you would love some support with teaching writing, I offer programs designed to make that part of homeschooling easier and more enjoyable for both you and your child. I also have free resources on my website, so please be sure to check those things out and subscribe to the podcast. You do not have to do this alone. Right on.